Oh my gosh, you guys. Packers running back Josh Jacobs is reportedly dating Ash Cash, who previously was dating Caleb Williams. From Bears player to a Packers player. What is that? That looks like some kind of Daytona on Oyster, if I had to guess. Without seeing the dial, I think Pikachu. I'm gonna guess Pikachu. Anyway, she is super fine. Definitely in the John Elway, Dan Marino tier. Some people are saying, oh, those are Caleb Williams sloppy seconds. Well, I would date a Bella Danger, so Caleb Williams sloppy seconds doesn't really deter me. You know what I mean? New report reveals political leanings of America's pro sports leagues. Among NFL players, defensive and skill position players tend to lean most Democratic, while special teams players are the most Republican. Quarterbacks fall somewhere in between the two. Well, I don't know. It says here quarterbacks are like 30% Republicans, 20% Democrats, but I think they're just going along to get along. You know what I'm saying? Like Brock Purdy obviously is a hardcore Republican. There's no question Brock Purdy is going to vote for J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, whoever wins the Republican primary. Diamador Lenore, yeah, I can tell he's a Kamala Harris voter. Fred Warner, he's obviously a Kamala Harris voter. Mac Jones, 100% guaranteed J.D. Vance supporter. What I don't understand is like the kicker. Like why are kickers and punters overwhelmingly Republican? By like, there virtually are no Democratic kickers, punters, or long snappers. Possibly the earliest instance of political violence we had last year was when Deebo Samuel shoved Jake Moody and Peter Pepper, picked a pack of pickled peppers, whoever that guy was. I forget who the long snapper was. All right, let's do some comments. Oh my gosh, this guy's getting blocked. How do I block? This guy says Grant Cohn is funny. Listen, I believe in the First Amendment, okay? I would fight for your right to free speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, and you can't claim without a single shred of evidence that Grant Cohn is funny. Okay, that is just disgusting. So that is an instant block. All right, you are blocked. How's that for funny? I think it's funny. So there you go. You are blocked, sir. You are blocked for spreading Russian misinformation around here. That game was shady. It was absolutely rigged, dude. It was a rigged game. This guy says Elvis Grbac was trash. He was trash, as revealed when he went to the Baltimore Ravens. No, lots of hate for Elvis Grbac. JT Mullen, I don't know who JT Mullen is. I know JT O'Sullivan. I don't actually recall a JT Mullen. Please refresh my memory. J Mill says, I just wish Alex Smith, JTO, and Sean Hill had better offensive coaching pre-2011. Had Norv Turner or McCarthy, for that matter, been head coach instead of Pee Wee. I mean, JT O'Sullivan did the best he could with Mike Martz and that, like, terrible team. JTO did the best he could. Sean Hill, I'm a big fan of Sean Hill. Alex Smith, I hate the guy. R. Jeffrey says, Alex Smith got every offensive coordinator fired. True. Fact check, true. 100%. Rocket Man says, I would love to hear you on a show with Lombardi or Kruger. Oh, Chrissy says my singing voice is not that bad. Thank you, Chrissy. Exactly. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Many things I should have said and done. Dun dun dun. Girl, I'm sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. Always on my mind. You were always on my mind. That's right, Chrissy. You're correct. Fact check true. This guy says Mina Kimes is a homer. He doesn't find her hot at all. He thinks Kay Adams is way hotter. Can I be honest with you? I don't like the way Kay Adams like strokes everybody. I'm not into that. Like the way she just like everybody's great. Everybody's wonderful. Everyone doesn't get enough credit. I'm not a fan of that. Like to me, Kay Adams is like a golden retriever or like a Labrador. She's like, ah, you know. I like the way like my old my childhood German Shepherd mix. He was a dick, dude. He was like, argh. He growls at everybody. He only likes a select few people. That's what I like. This is some of my greatest work right here. This is some of my greatest work. Josh says 41-6 is not rigged. I said, it's in the documents. And he goes, a beatdown like that is not rigged, bro. I'm sorry your team lost. And then I said, if the NFL if the NFL had any integrity at all, they would have paused the season until the 49ers were fully recovered. And he goes, are you actually serious about that comment? That's not how injuries work in the NFL. And then I said, it's in the documents. Look it up. And then he goes, what are you talking about? It's in the documents. What documents? I said, I already told you it's in the documents. And then he goes, what documents? You have told me and I ask you for what documents are you speaking of? Sounds like you're just hurt and can't accept the fact that they lost. I said it's right there in the supplemental findings in Brennan Fiara Commission Appendix C, subsection 3. This goes back to the 2000s. Look it up. And he says, okay. Exactly, I'll say. Exactly. You lost, bro. I'm very proud of that. This guy says the quarterback for the Chargers in the 1994 Super Bowl was Dan Fouts. Dude, Dan Fouts was hella old when I was young. And I'm hella old. You know what I'm saying? It was not Dan Fouts, dude. Dan Fouts was like practically in the black and white days, dude. No, for real. When I was a kid, Dan Fouts was already like a sports reporter when I was a kid. So no, it was not Dan Fouts. Somebody pointed out it was Dan Humphries. Correct, it was Dan Humphries.